Hi everyone, we have with us Rick Tracy.
Hello.
Rick is also one of the speakers at EuroSTAR' conference. So of course, welcome to the Lambda Test booth at EuroSTAR' conference. We are very excited to be here. Rick, why don't you start by telling us a bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah. Hi, I'm Rick. Rick Tracy. I'm a process optimizer. Basically, what that means is I go to different companies and I help them with their... Should I hold that up there? Okay. We do it this way. Look, I can have this be a microphone. So basically what I do is I go to different companies and I help them with whatever they're struggling with in their process. So if their process is lacking for testing, I help them testing. If it's communication or organization, I try to help them with that. But it usually comes down to helping each other connect.
Got it.
So that's what I like to do in terms of the work. And with the talks at EuroSTAR today, I basically talked about a concept called concurrency. And we can go a little bit into that if you like.
Absolutely.
But,
Would love that.
Yeah.
So, in your talk, you spoke about end-to-end testing and why is it important, right? Why is concurrency important? So, let's start by the very basic. Why is there a need for it?
So the main gist of my talk, if I boil it down really simply, is everybody does chain test or thinks they do chain test end-to-end, but everybody seems to have a different idea of what that is.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will do a chain test that's just sequential. They'll do one thing and then another thing and then another thing, and then they'll say, great, we ran through the whole system. Yeah. And other people will run every process at once. And that's considered, a full system chain test. But I think even that's not enough. And that doesn't create what I call concurrency. And concurrency is when you will start a process, and then maybe halfway through, you'll start the process again. And you'll start another process 3 minutes after you start the other process. And what that creates is these little points along your data flow where everything just hits at the same time. Yeah. And it's those concurrency points that we often don't mimic in our chain tests, in our end-to-end tests. But with a concurrency test, you seek them out. You try to create these conflict points. And that prevents some major issues in production. And in my experience, is one of the most common ones where people are like, we do chain testing, we do end-to-end testing, we do all of it, but we're still getting production issues. Yeah. This is usually why, because it's concurrency points.
Great. So, what according to you is one of the best possible solutions to solve the concurrency issues that teams, especially the larger teams, enterprise level teams face?
Yeah, it is quite the challenge to do that when you're just running your manual tests straight up, and you have to keep on coming up with new scenarios. If you have a tool that can give yourself a map, like a general place, and then you can modify things on that map, it makes it a lot easier. So if you have an existing test stream and you can just launch it once, launch it twice, launch it 3 times in the same environment, a controlled space, then you can create these concurrency points. And even if you don't have a controlled space, as long as you're able to have a good view, a visualization of your process, and you're able to imagine where these concurrency points would exist, then you can create those. So a tool that helps you to map those things, a tool that helps you to launch those things, sometimes even run them if you can automate some parts of it. All of that can be useful for concurrency testing, especially with large volumes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Rick. This really helps. Is there something else that you might want to add for our viewers? Because we wanted to keep it short and quick, as we promised. Yeah. Let me know if there is something else that you might want to add.
Sure. Yeah, I just want to thank all of you for being interested in the first place. And thank you guys for being here at the Expo and helping people like me help my clients with the best experience that we can.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day, Rick. Really loved this short conversation with you. Thank you.
Thank you.